So before Christmas, I went to see Cam Cole, and it was amazing. It was a really quiet gig, and it was in a nightclub that I used to go to a lot, like years ago. So it was kind of weird being back there, and I felt very old. But there was a really mixed crowd there, and I just think it was really amazing. Like, I knew that he would be good, but it was just better in real life, and he can just play and sing so many different things at the same time. I just don't understand how he does so much multitasking. And back to the reality of motherhood. My kids were given some Christmas money from my uncle, so they insisted on going to buy something with it. So they got to go to Smith's Toys, which I usually avoid like the plague, but they loved having a look around. It was actually surprisingly quiet considering it's nearly Christmas time. So they picked out a few things that they wanted, and they never get to do this usually, so it felt like a big treat for them. And I think we spent like an hour looking at toys. And on the same day, we found out that we won the Christmas hamper from my daughter's school again. We just seem to have like a lot of luck with winning the Christmas hamper for some reason. Like, it's happened 3 times now, but I was really grateful to get it. And the girls loved unpacking it all and finding out what was inside. And it just makes such a big difference to us at Christmas time. So I was really grateful to get it. And this is my daughter just playing with the new doll that she got. It blows bubbles, which is good for her and kind of annoying for me because it just it goes all over the floor. But she seemed really fascinated by it, although I think the novelty's kind of worn off now, which it always does with their toys. But yeah, they fed her bubbles and they were so excited whenever she was blowing them all over the kitchen and singing. And I accidentally bought the wrong coffee, and I had to borrow my mum's coffee bean grinder, and I didn't expect my daughter to be interested in it, but she wanted to be in the middle of it and she really enjoyed grinding the coffee for me. So if I ever get one of these, I'll make that her job. We went to a pantomime which was on in the Mac. It was Cinderella, and I hadn't told the girls before we went there where we were going, so it was a surprise. And they got little packs of snacks and drinks and stuff while we were watching it. This is just outside the theatre area where they have art books and things you can look at just to pass time. And yeah, this is just my daughter going through all of her snacks. And I got an adult bag as well. It just felt like a nice treat. And then we got really good seats actually. We were up high on a balcony, and I didn't know when I booked them if we'd be able to see well, but you could see everything so clearly. My daughter was freaking out about how high up we were for a while, but she kind of seemed to get over it once it started. And then there was an intermission, and this is just them messing about while we were waiting to go back in. I was actually surprised how well they sat for the whole thing, because it was broken up, but it was I think it was more than 2 hours long, and there wasn't that much wriggling. Then we went to a silent disco into Royal Avenue. They just got headphones when we went in, and there was Christmas music playing, and they could switch the music to whatever they wanted to listen to. And we just went to the little cafe in there and got some mulled punch. Yeah, it was just a nice thing to do in the afternoon after we'd been sort of cooped up in the theatre for a while.
Laughing all the way, ha ha ha, bells and bobtails ring.
And we went for a walk around our neighbourhood to see the Christmas lights. I've done this before, but we've gone for a drive, but I just decided to do it since it was dry and in the fresh air, and it was actually kind of nicer because you could see everything more clearly because you have more time to stop and look at things. And I was kind of impressed by how many displays there were near us and how much effort people had gone to decorate.
is my version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Ha. Wait, start again.
What are you going to put in your card, Susie?
And this was at the Folk Museum. We went the day before Christmas Eve, I think, and they had card making in the church hall, and then the girls were just like cutting out, making like tissue paper snowflakes as well, and I made a card with one hand because I still have my broken hand. And it was just like a nice way to slow everything down. Like, I feel like the lead up to Christmas with the school is so rushed, and it's just nice to do something quiet. And we went quite early in the morning, so we were like the first people there. And yeah, it's weird how long it kept the girls entertained for. And yeah, my daughter started to make paper chains as well. And they just enjoyed doing some crafts, and I liked joining in too. And then after that we went for a walk around, and we went to the rectory where they had like Christmas cake. We also tried chestnuts. This is why they're doing faces, because they didn't like them. They had the fake snow again, which is just like bubbles, but the girls are obsessed with it, and every time the machine came on they were running straight for it. And their hair was really funny after it because they were just completely covered in bubbles. And yeah, it was hard to get them away from this actually, but there weren't too many other families there. It was weird like how quiet it was for just before Christmas. I love all of the traditional stuff that they do there. And yeah, this was another, we were waiting actually to get, they had like mulled punch in the pub last year, but the pub was closed. I think it's been renovated or something, so they had it in one of the houses this year, and we were kind of hanging around waiting for them to bring some more down. Then we went into the church where the fire was lit, and the girls just liked kind of like running about and shouting, I think because their voices echo when they're in there. And we went to the cafe, and it was so packed. Apart from that, I'm trying to remember, we also like went to the cinema at it, and yeah, there were donkeys, and this is just like they were making some gingerbread cookies from a box mix that we got in, I think we got it in the hamper. So they just like, they were able to make this without any help really, and they just enjoyed putting loads of sprinkles on it. We made some reindeer food with my nieces as well, just with like cereal. I kind of improvised because I couldn't find porridge in the house, and then put sprinkles in it and stuff. And then we went outside on Christmas Eve, and the girls like scattered it around the garden. Yeah, it's just like a nice thing to do, and we just put them in like envelopes, and they got to decorate the envelopes. This is on Christmas Day. It wasn't really like the best Christmas we've ever had, because I got a tummy bug followed by like a flu thing, and I didn't really have an appetite, and we were stuck in for most of the holidays. But the girls' new toys kept them entertained. They were just playing a game here that they got where you have to try to lift jelly beans and like eat them all, which they managed to do surprisingly easily. And I made Christmas dinner, which was actually kind of a waste of time because nobody really ate it, and I think next year I might just do party food. This was another day when they made some jam tarts. My daughter has this thing where she thinks jam tarts are a Christmas tradition now, because if I ever make mince pies, I'll make her some jam tarts out of the remaining pastry, because she doesn't like mince pies, so they decided to make some of those. This is after we kind of got out of isolation and had recovered. We went to C.S. Lewis Square to the cafe there. The girls got these cute little books that they sell at the till now. They're like little sketchbooks, so they were just drawing in those. Yeah, I think it was called a coffee shop sketchbook, and they had little colouring books as well that come with pens. And I had a hot chocolate. It had a flavour which I've now forgotten. And we just kind of had a peaceful time, and they showed me their silly drawings, and I actually got an opportunity to read for a while, and we were the only people there. I don't know if other kids were back to school sooner than they were. And then they just wanted to see the lion, with all the like Narnia stuff in the square, and I don't know why they always want to run up and climb around it. And then we ended up like going to get school supplies and went for lunch in Tim Hortons, so that was the end of our holiday, and we'll see you soon.